Hey everybody, welcome to another video. And this particular item right here was sent to me by the manufacturer in exchange for a honest review. So that's what we're going to do here. This is another one of those emergency jump starter devices, and we will check it out. I guess they happen to see the last one I did on the Harbor Freight jump starter model, and you know, there was a bunch of comments about how that would only, well, basically in a nutshell, that would only work for small vehicles or something of that nature or whatever. So we're going to take a look at one that's capable of a little bit more you know, jump starting vehicles of a larger size. We'll go ahead and just open this. You know, items like this take me a while to you know, actually review, because you know, there's a lot that goes into a review on one of these. I need to know how long the battery lasts under normal circumstances. I feel like a lot of people just charge these things up and then they forget about them. I want to know how they perform in that kind of scenario. So what we'll do is we'll just open it up today, take a close look at it, you know, test the ports, because that was one of the surprising things about the last one that I tested, is that some of the ports did not function all the time. So let's just, without further ado, let's just open this up and see what's in here. This is a really shiny package, so as you can see, the camera lighting is reflecting off of it. Hopefully that'll stop once we get the package open and get rid of this reflective plastic on the outside here. Hopefully that'll stop. Okay, let's see what we got here. The knife that we're opening this up with today is the HX Outdoors. For those who want to know, this is the ZD031, and the only reason I'm using it is because I had some large boxes to dispatch of, and I like that knife for dispatching of large boxes. It really makes short work of it. Okay, so there's what's in the box, and man, that is a really nice case right there, man. That's a nice and like semi-hard plastic case. Let's go ahead and put the knife away as to not have any accidents on camera. Let's unzip this bad boy, see what's in here. Alright, now on the inside, ooh man, this is really nice setup here. I like the presentation. Okay, so on one side you've got the battery device itself, the jump starter battery here. Ooh, a nice size. It's got like a rubbery texture to it. This like a rubber coating on the outside of it. Oh man, I really like that. It's got a compass built in. That's kind of a nice touch. I don't know why you would see a lot of these features on these battery devices. I'm not sure why they exist, but I think they just add like a little extra this, a little extra that to kind of differentiate themselves from other devices. But this one has a compass. I just don't know if you'd ever be in a situation where you were navigating with your emergency jump starter. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So we have our charging input, our 12 volt output at 10 amps. We have one USB output at 2.1 amp, and the other one says 5 volt, 9 volt. I'm not sure why. That's something we'll have to figure out why it does that. And of course it's got the obligatory flashlight on one end there. Let's see what it comes charged at. Is this the power button? There we go. There's our power button. That other one, oh, 72%. Not bad, not bad. You guys see that? I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera. There you go, right there. 72%. It's got a nice digital screen. I really like that. Let's fully charge this bad boy up before we go any further, because I want to give it a fair shake in all respect. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the charger out and charge it up. And let's just set this aside and take a look at what's on this side. Alright, now we have ourselves a cigarette lighter charger. So you can charge it in your car. We have a household charger. So you can charge it in your house. That's normally how that works, household current. Charge that in your house. And what do we got here? We got the jumper cables themselves. This is the business end of the device. Right here. Ooh, this thing's got some beefy cables. Yeah, look at the jaws on this bad boy. These are some really nice, high quality cables here. I like that. Your big protection diode right here. Oh, and it's even got lighting here to let you know that you've connected the cables correct, and then you hit the button to boost here. That's interesting. I've never seen it done quite that way before. So there's the jumper cable. I guess that's how they made this so small, is they added some of the electronics needed for the jump starting. Oh, look at that. Now you have the actual instructions on how to jump start the car right there. That's pretty handy. Okay, now in here we have a regular USB cable to charge your phone or whatever device, and then we have cigarette lighter adapter plug. Now I am dying to know if this one actually works. Remember, we had a problem with the other one where other people wrote in the comments that they did not have the problems that I had, but that's kind of neither here nor there. I mean, I bought two of those products, two of those jump starter devices from Harbor Freight, and both of them didn't work properly. So I'm really wanting to know if this does. A lot of times when you have battery devices, you know, it's a really good idea to charge them up before you start using them and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and do that. I think it's a very handsome device, very good looking. The black with the orange makes it really hard not to see in the dark. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. I mean, if you're out there in a parking lot in the dark, that's going to make it a little bit easier to deal with this thing. Okay, guys, I'm back with a pretty important message that I have since learned since testing this out. I went to go charge this this power pack to get it ready for us to take a closer look at, and I plugged it into the wall with the wall charger. Just kind of walked away, and you know, it lit up like, you know, you would think normally or whatever, and I walked away and came back and it was not charging. So I broke out the multimeter and quickly determined that there is a little thing you have to know about this device. It's very important. If you don't listen to what I'm saying right now, you are going to have a bad time. The situation is that the instruction manual is obviously translated from, my guess is like Chinese or something, and then they translated it into English, but there is no mention of this in the manual. So you have to listen to what I'm saying. That's why videos like this are so important for these kinds of products. You know, I get these products, I find some sort of like little quirk or issue that's not mentioned in the manual, and I figure it out for you so you don't have the same hard time I did, okay? So what the deal is, when you plug this in to charge it, this has to be in the on position. Okay, if you try and charge this with this in the off position, it will not charge. It'll look like it's charging, it'll light up like it is charging, but it won't charge. So then I went to Amazon, where you can purchase this. I'll put a link in the description for a place to purchase this. I mean, on Amazon, so you guys can check it out. But I noticed that this is a new product, or a fairly new product, and there are already 2 1-star reviews for this exact issue. They got it, it came at whatever percentage charged, and they plugged it in to charge it, and it wouldn't charge. So this is a thing. This is an issue that you must know about. Again, in order to charge it, this switch has to be in the on position. So that's something that you need to keep in mind for sure. Okay. From then on out, you turn this on, and then this button right here that we didn't know what it was for is the power switch for the flashlight. And this is the first one of these power pack things that has a built-in flashlight that actually has a reasonably bright flashlight. I mean, this is a usable flashlight as opposed to that garbage that I've seen on other devices of this kind. I mean, the other ones are just there just to say they have a flashlight. I feel like this one is an actual usable flashlight. I mean, it's bright enough that it, you know, in a pinch, if you didn't have, you know, another flashlight with you, that this would be, you know, the way to go. And then it's also got, you know, the standard, strobe warning. Whoops, forgot about that. Strobe warning. So it's got the flashing strobe and then the SOS as well. And it also has a flashing red light, the quicker flashing. Okay, there it is. You have to double tap the power button quickly twice, and then there's the flashing red emergency light. Yeah, so that's how you do that. But it's an actual usable flashlight, which is like the first time ever in the history of mankind. I also figured out, I read the El Manual as best I could. This orange output right here that looks like just a standard USB charging port is actually a quick charge port for, like, you know, some Samsung devices have quick charging phones and stuff like that, but this is a quick charge port at 9 volts. So that's actually a pretty useful feature. So it looks like this one is actually designed as a power pack in mind. You know, like it's you know, it's a jump starter emergency device, but it's also done the power pack part pretty well. And it's got a, you know, an 18,000 milliamp hour battery in it. You know, it's got 800 cold cranking amps. It's you know, it's got some really nice features. It's rated to start engines all the way up to a 5.6 liter diesel engine. You know, that's what it says on the specs there. It'll start trucks, and you know, it's rated at a higher capacity. So if you have a truck and you watched my last video on the last one of these that I reviewed, you know, there was a lot of comments, well, that's great for small cars, but that's not going to start my truck. Well, here you go. Here's the answer to that. This will in fact start a truck. So, okay guys, I'm back real quick. It never fails. Anytime that you think you got all the stuff you need to make your video, there's always something you forgot. So let's go ahead and test some of these ports out and see how they work. I'm going to plug in the cigarette lighter adapter plug. Hopefully this one works better than we have seen in the past. Now scooch that out there like that. And I decided to really give this a test. See how this works. I'm going to plug in an inverter, 200 watts, so 200 watt. So it should have enough to get us going here. So I'm going to plug in the inverter, turn this on. Okay, so we have powered on the inverter. It's working. So let's go ahead and put a load on it and see what happens. I'm going to plug in my my charger for my drone batteries. Now this is not a trivial amount of power being drawn off of here, because this is a 90 watt charger. Where did I put the battery? Okay, here it is. Here's my drone battery. Let's plug it in and see what happens. Okay, there we go. Holy smokeroonies. Now we just got to see if it stays on for a couple minutes while I talk. But that already is a huge improvement over the performance as far as a battery pack goes and the testing of other ones that I've tested. That's pretty good. If this thing stays on for a couple of minutes here, I'd say it's safe to assume that it's going to stay on for good, which is kind of proves that this is more than just an engine jump start device. This is also a battery backup device that you can charge different items off of. Like I said, this is not a trivial amount of current being drawn off of this cigarette lighter plug. I would say it's it's about half of the capacity of this inverter. I mean, this inverter is getting nice and warm already. So, I mean, I think that that's a really good test of this thing actually holding a load. All right, so let's see. Will it charge a cell phone? Crap. Let's really put it under a test here. Let's plug in the cell phone charger carefully while I'm trying not to move around some stuff here. Okay, so what if we plug in my phone? Oh my god, look at that, guys. My phone is charging along with my drone battery charging. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. And it looks like it's going to stay on, which is more than I can say for other devices that I've tested. Let me unplug all this and let's see if the jump starter part fires up. I'm not going to test it actually jump starting a car because I don't want to fake that. There's going to be a long-term review that I'll do on this. I want to know how well does it hold its charge. It claims that it can hold its charge for a year. They suggest that you charge it every 3 months just to maintain its charge, but here in Arizona I'm going to put it through its paces. It gets incredibly hot inside the vehicle in Arizona. It's no joke. 160 degrees is pretty typical. So I want to know how this thing holds up to the torture of that, and over the course of time, how well does this hold a charge? Because like I said many times, people buy these things, they charge them up, they forget all about them, and an emergency happens and they need this thing to work. You can in fact leave these for long periods of time and they do in fact work. So let's plug in the jump starter part right here, and we'll see what happens. These are a little tight. Okay, there we go. Okay, so those are plugged in, and let's get our multimeter here. See if you guys can see this. Go ahead and connect this. I know there will be no load on here, so you guys that are thinking you're about to comment and whatnot, don't bother. I realize that. Okay, so let's fire this thing up. Turn the power on. Okay, and then up here, okay, maybe this thing actually have to sense. Okay, no, it worked. Okay, so it powered on. It looks like I've run the battery down quite a bit from running that inverter, which is to be expected. But 11.7, and so it does in fact work. And I'm pretty sure if we put this thing under a load, it would also function. But we'll know that in future tests, and I'll report back after I've had a chance. Oh, and it automatically shuts off for safety reasons. Good deal. All right, man. I'm really impressed with this thing so far. I think it's I think it's designed really well. I really love this rubber coating. I think it feels really tough. I mean, I like the, you know, the touch of the compass. I mean, why not throw a compass on there? I'll report more back on this thing after I've had a chance to actually use this in a real life scenario, and also charging up devices and whatnot. I hope this was helpful to some of you guys. If you're in the market for one of these and you need one that's more powerful for a truck or for you know, a larger engine of some sort, I don't think you can go wrong with this one. Just remember again that the power has to be on to charge it. It does not complete the circuit unless this switch is in the on position. So definitely keep that in mind for the future. And I will post a link in the description for where you can check this out. You guys have a good one. We'll catch you on the next video on that end.